Hello, Wisershifters. Welcome to another episode. My name is Eves, and this is Wisershift, where we focus on the mind, body, and soul for a better life. If you are new here, consider subscribing, and we have more video and content on the way. So if you like life skills and preparedness and anything that's dealing with a better life learning, please consider subscribing. This is the home for you. Let's start the video. All right, guys, today's video we are going to talk about inflation and also hyperinflation. What is it? So as you can tell, there's a lot of things that's going on in the world right now. This is not the time to panic, but you have to slow down, think about your next move. So what's happening right now? We have what we call inflation is about to take place, and those potential inflation could be either just basic inflation or hyperinflation. What could be really bad is hyperinflation. But before I get more in depth about this, let's talk about this first. Let's define what is inflation. Inflation is a general increase in prices and fall in purchasing value of money. So simply saying that a cup of coffee could have cost you $3, and because of inflation later on it could cost you $1 more. So you're looking at a full dollar increase. So it's simple, but the problem is if it get out of control and become a hyperinflation, which you need to concern. So today we are going to cover seven important things you should stockpile on if inflation or hyperinflation do take place. Now, it could be very unlikely, but if it does happen or it doesn't happen, please consider stockpiling these things. So not only that, it'll help you in the case of a calamity or in case of a natural disaster or potential inflation or hyperinflation. Last but not least, but it's also going to help you to prepare for even a bad situation that might occur. Now, you don't know when problems or emergency going to occur. So when I say stockpile, I don't mean that hoard like the product or anything like that, but get enough so you can supply yourself with in your storage so you can survive or deal with any issue that might come your way. So let's start. The 7 things that you should stockpile for a potential inflation or hyperinflation is, I'm gonna list them off and then I'm gonna go into detail why and what you should at least consider. Number 1, food and beverage, right? Number 2, first aid materials. Number 3, security tools. Number 4, clothing material. Number 5, solar and battery packs. Number 6, alternative currency. Number 7, hand tools. Now, why you should consider stockpiling or saving these things in your storage if inflation or hyperinflation occur. Now, let's start with this. Food and beverage. You're going to need to make sure that you have enough food for yourself or your family. Now, what does this mean? Food such as meat, there's going to be an increase on that. Because think about processing the meat, delivering the meat, and also storing the meat in the stores. Of course, they're going to take a lot of energy from processing it to the logistic of getting it to you. So that's the number one thing that's going to be impacting. You're going to see a huge increase on these products such as pork, chicken, beef, right? And especially seafood. Seafood is already expensive as it is. Now, as for beverages, now I'll definitely say focus on water, right? So you're going to need water to survive. So one thing you can definitely do is buy water filters, such as the Berkeley water filter or Brita, whatever it needs. You're going to need to either purify your water or simply just store water, so in case an emergency and there's a short of water or your tap water stop running, you still have water for drinking and cooking, right? So food like canned food, non-perishable item, you need to store these things, because the increase on food is going to get ridiculous, because of course that's the number one thing we need to survive, right? Food and water. Number two, first aid materials such as painkillers, what else? Basic first aid such as band-aids that you may need. What else? Anything that you currently are being prescribed. It could be difficult to stockpile on these things, but at least you can get an overage to store to make sure that if something do happen and the store shut down, you can definitely have what you need, whatever medication that you are currently on, and medication that you know that you're going to need in case of an emergency, such as burn cream or painkiller Adlib. Even for kids too, you have to make sure that you cover not only yourself but your family too. So making sure that you have a well stocked first aid kit in place is very, very important, that this necessary that you need to have. Now, number 3 is very important. Security tools. However you decide to secure your home and to protect yourself, you need to make sure that you have it in place. So if something do happen, civil unrest or a huge disaster where no first responder is able to get to you, you want to be able to protect not only your food and water, and also your first aid material. You want to make sure to be able to protect yourself and also protect what you have saved, right? So there's no use of not having a form of protection, from baseball bat to your concealed weapon, concealed carry weapon, or your gun, whatever you want to use to protect yourself, knives or whatever. But one thing you want to make sure is considering getting these things in, save them and get them ready, so in case of an emergency you're ready to use them to protect yourself, right? I am not inciting any form of violence towards anyone, but one thing I can say for sure, you need to protect yourself in case of an emergency or calamity strike, because when we have no rule of law, guess what? You are on your own, and you have to protect yourself and your family, because no one is going to do that for you. All right? If anything, they're going to take advantage of you. Now, number 4, clothing material. Now, keep in mind, when inflation happens, prices of everything goes up, right? And the cost of living, everything. But the season change, and one thing for sure is you have to make sure that you have the proper clothing and way to repair your clothes if the store closed down or you can't get the right material, right, to repair your clothes. You want to make sure you have all these things in stock, right? Number 5, solar or battery pack. You want to make sure you have enough battery for your electric items, or making sure that you have a solar connection to be able to recharge, or to have something in place where if power goes out, you can still continue your daily life without no interruption. Alternative currency, you have to consider getting silver and gold, because if the dollar crash or the dollar lose let's say a good amount of its value, think about this. You can use that to barter with others and to definitely to make purchase, because silver and gold will always have some sort of value. But think about this, the paper dollar, that note, once it lose value, it's tough for it to gain value back, because it's based on gold, right? The amount of gold that it's supposed to represent. But the way we are printing money and having these stimulus packages being thrown in, also the economy is taking an impact due to the COVID-19. Guess what? Your money soon to lose value, and gold and silver will definitely hold some sort of value where it'll help you to get by. So consider stockpiling on that too, if you have the extra income to do so. Last but not least, hand tools. If in the case of an emergency you don't have the proper hand tools to repair your doors or anything that's broken in around the house, it's gonna be tough for you to pay for someone to come in and and repair these things. And if that's not the case, it's better to learn how to repair certain things, because when hard times do come by, it's better to be able to fix your own thing than to pay, which is going to be another form of expense that you don't need at that moment. So these things are things that you could definitely consider stockpiling and making sure that you have enough store for yourself and your family to get by, because if you don't, there's a lot of things that could happen, and guess what? You're going to pay for it, because the price is going to go up and the value of the dollar is going to diminish. So consider these things if you want to be prepared if potential inflation or hyperinflation take place in the next couple of months or years to come. We don't know where the economy is heading, but one thing for sure is that the impact on the economy right now is going to be very, very, very hard to go back to normalcy. Now, you can think about it as a new age, but yet you have to be prepared for these changes, because changes is inevitable, is what you do with it. So I'll say adapt and make the changes, and make sure you prepare for hyperinflation or regular inflation, because these things are in the horizon, and it can quickly happen, it can slowly happen, but whatever the case might be, you are ready for it. So consider these things and take heed to these tips that I just gave you guys. Now, example of a hyperinflation I can give you guys is if people stop using their currency, right? Prices shoot up on your daily food or services, and guess what? A lot of people are going to start hoarding basic product. Before that take place, consider stockpiling on these 7 things to really put yourself in a better situation. All right, and that's all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, consider subscribing. If you're new here, please, if you want to make sure that you are acknowledged of the new videos when it come, please set your bell notification icon, click on it and enable all, so you can get all the alert when I upload new content. Definitely in the comment below, please share some of the things that you think that will be a good addition to this list. And if I miss anything, go ahead and let me know, and let's build on this. All right, because you help me and I help you, so we can grow together. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.